So, okay. So I'll begin again. The first thing that I'm teaching is hatching, in which we have to draw just lines. The lines have to be equidistant and consistent. So if you are drawing vertical lines, they have to be continuously vertical. So what I'll suggest is you make one block and then fill it up. And what you need to do is, whatever distance you begin with, you have to continue with that till the end. And do it with lot of focus. And when you're like sitting alone, you need your complete concentration when you are doing this. Like the same thing now you can repeat with less distance between the lines. So I'll show it very slowly now without talking. This is one medium that will require a lot of focus. You just can't do, two things together when you are doing this particular medium. So it's very, very interesting. Similarly, you can repeat the same thing in horizontal manner. Again, whatever distance you begin with, practice with the same distance till the end. Again, with smaller lines. You have to be even neater, like this gap that has come here, because I was talking to somebody, it's not allowed. So you have to be like very, very consistent with practice. Now I'm going to repeat this in slanting lines. Like you can repeat the same with lesser distance now. So you keep practicing this. Now this is hatching. The next one is cross hatching, where I'm going to crisscross like whatever I've done so far. Like if it is, we can do it like in two ways. One is this, like we use the horizontal and the vertical and horizontal lines. All these are cross hatching where we are using more than one line. Or like vertical and with slanting lines. You can keep changing the directions. It has got many variations. I'll just show it like this to you, what we have done so far. Okay, so now you can change the direction from, like we've done it from the right to left, then you can do it from left to right like this, and using two slanting lines. There are more variations which I'm going to cover in the long workshop. Today I'm just giving an introduction to this medium. So it is just a very, very brief insight into the upcoming workshop that I'll be taking soon. Like this. So we can keep changing the strokes according to what we have to do in the painting or what subject we are using. Like these are straight lines. Now the third thing that comes is we call them contours, which are curved lines like this. Yeah. And in this, we also have cross. Same, repeat of the above, like we have curved lines like this. I'm making it very thickly because it's easily visible, because it's first class, so few people may not get it that easily. And then change the direction. So this is cross contours. And we can keep repeating the layers in this. Again, change the direction. How much, like details we want, how much depth we want to show, because everything we will have to show in black and white only. Whatever tones or shading we have to do, the only color visible with us is black and white. So like this. So you see, this gives a curved look, and these are all straight lines. And then suppose we have to make the vegetation and all or such things. So simply, this is called circling, just making circles. There are so many variations in this medium that it's like really amazing. Whatever strokes come to your mind, you can use them to create a painting. So it is simple circling. So just make circles. And when I say random lines, then you don't have to make circles. You just randomly use your pen in whichever direction you want. And why it's important to learn these strokes is that once we begin a painting, this knowledge will come very handy to you. Like you will know that, okay, if I have to make a tree, so I can use random lines to create the the foliage. So very important to learn. There are few things we have to like draw. Suppose I have to make a leaf, then of course I will make like this only. But if I have to create an entire foliage, then I don't have to make leaves like this unless it is, visible from that range, because there are so many things involved in a painting, at what distance the subject is, the and other aspects which are otherwise like I cannot explain it in this short workshop. So today I'm just focusing on the strokes. So see, after making this, it is already looking like a bunch. Now it is up to your imagination how you want to use these strokes. And then there is stippling, that is, you will find it in a lot of sketches. I don't use it that often, but it's very interesting. That is simple dots. A lot of artists use this technique, just making dots, and with the thickness and the the distance, like how closely you are making them or how far you are making them, they create depth just by using dots. So just these dots. So you see, I can make dots, and at the same time, like if I make them too closely, they will create a 3D effect. So even by simple dots, we can create an entire painting. Any of these strokes actually can be used to make a painting. This is the beauty of this medium. Like this. And if I go further, it gives a different look altogether. And there are other strokes, like which is like just making a tick mark. This is my favorite. I use it a lot. Why? Because it from dark, it goes to light. Very easy to create different textures in it. Like whatever I want to create, this is my favorite stroke. The tick mark, I can create depth using this. Whatever thing you say, portraits, landscapes, still life, we can create everything by using this. So ultimately, the medium is about so much about our personal style. What we like, we use those strokes in this medium. And then randomly, if you don't like anything, you can just use what you want to do. Make whatever strokes you want randomly. You basically have to fill a space, create textures and tones using only the pen. So you see, we can create any shape by using lines. Suppose I have to show a wave. So you use curved lines like this. And you can create a wave. These strokes, appear to be like very simple. That, oh my God, this is like really easy. But when we begin to sit and make a painting, it sometimes does not come in our mind. Like how to create hair. If I'm creating, I'm making a portrait, then you have to go for these curved lines. And it's very important to practice this, because if you don't have a control on your strokes, you may just end up making something which will not look real. So like you have to keep practicing your hand to work like this. So if you practice all these strokes for a week, by the time you begin a painting, you will be a pro in making a black and white pen and ink work. So you basically have to free your hand in all ways. Like if you have to create lines, you start from one end, go till the other end. That I should be able to draw a straight line from one end to the other. This is the kind of command you should have on your hand when you're drawing with the pen. Then there are dotted lines, like where you give a gap. So you have to learn to use the pen like this, and like this. So you see these dotted lines, they're not even visible. I'll bring them closer. Like this, your pen should work. Or just using your pen like this, where we create gap between the lines instead of making them, continuously. So the more imagination you use, you will come up with your own ideas also. And what we can do is, in the WhatsApp group, you can share your versions, how you can use the pen to create something. It could be anything. You can just use, like, say, these curved lines. But the only thing that you have to remember is that there has to be a symmetry. Even if I'm doing a random thing like this, overall, it looks that it was created in a similar manner. This is very important in pen and ink. This is called being carefully careless. That people may think that you have done it carelessly, but you should know that you have put a lot of your, hard work in understanding that particular stroke. Is there, like, if anybody has any doubt so far, you can ask me.